Jim Schwartz, talking about the Browns' defensive line as a unit.
We have great competition at defensive end in particular. We got a lot of guys that have started a lot of games in the NFL. You mentioned Zay, you mentioned Alex, put Cam Thomas out there, who's had an outstanding camp, put Julian out there, who's had an outstanding camp. KJ, new to us, he made a play the other day. He's been physical for us. All those guys are going to play in the NFL. And it's going to make us better, the competition that they bring, because they got to be on their game every day or somebody else is going to be. So we want to see physicality out of those guys. Those guys you mentioned are both physical players for us. Zay had a play in practice the other day where he literally took 3 blockers and knocked them back into the backfield. It was a tackle for a loss on a play. When we're doing that, when we're being disruptive up front, we're going to get those lost yardage plays. We're going to be around the quarterback. But if you're just somebody coming out to watch practice, that competition is something to watch, because like you roll through and we'll have our end of practice extra reps. We'll have guys that are running third team. I really don't care what group you're running in. It's all about getting reps. But you're seeing veteran players in those that are out there trying to improve and trying to prove themselves. I think it's outstanding for us, and I'm excited to watch all those guys play. I'm rooting for all of them, and like I said, I think all those guys will end up on teams and probably all getting significant play time this year.
So, Scott, let's throw Mason Graham, who's had a pretty good camp, Malik Collins, who I think gets overlooked. You got Shelby Harris, you got Michael Hall, who we haven't even talked about. Those are the tackles. How good can this defensive line group be? And Jim Schwartz is not a guy that, inflates what he thinks of his positional guys.
Yeah, I mean, it can be really good. Defensive tackle they need. Shelby Harris to not play like a 33-year-old. They need Mason Graham to play like the number 5 overall pick. And then you might call Junior to come back. And we haven't seen him yet. He's still rehabbing that knee. So that's key, because I feel like there may be a half a guy short if Hall's not healthy and available. And then you go to the end spot, and obviously we just heard Schwartz rave about it. It's interesting. You have Myles Garrett, who's the best of the best. Then you have a bunch of guys, and he's right. Like, I think all those guys are NFL players. The question is, do you have that guy opposite Myles Garrett that threatens defenses, or that takes advantage of all the attention paid to Myles Garrett? And I feel like that's still a little bit unproven. Alex Wright's good. He's starting to come on, but then he missed most of last year with that torn triceps. Isaiah McGuire, we've seen a little bit of flashes in his 2 years. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, who they signed in free agency, they expect him to go get the quarterback, but he's in a transition from the 3-4 linebacker to the 4-3 end. And then Cam Thomas, and he mentioned those other guys. So it is a great competition, and I think whoever shows the most in these next few weeks is going to earn a spot and earn playing time, but it's going to be important because they're going to spend so much attention on Myles Garrett that whoever else is getting time up front better take advantage for this defense to be as good as it thinks it can be.
Yeah, and I would say that's a position group to look for a trade later in camp as they kind of sort through that, because Jim Schwartz, right, there's some depth there.